How do you fit it all in as a business owner? Honestly, sometimes that feels more like a statement than it even does a question. I have found a bit of harmony or balance or whatever you want to call it by keeping three things fairly consistent in my business at all times. Maybe you are one of those entrepreneurs really looking for harmony or balance as you're trying to get it all done. If you are, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to be notified each time I post a new video about the business of SEO. I've been running my business alongside marketing my clients' businesses for the past 8 years, and I absolutely have made some mistakes and learned from them. Number one, I actually didn't write down a goal or a benchmark or anything until I was in about year 4 of business. And that kind of thing should be like job one, day one, write down goals. Writing down goals really is that important. Not only is it somewhere for you to go, but it's a future benchmark of accomplishments, things that you've done, that you're moving forward, you're moving towards that goal. And when you start out in business, those boosts of confidence are just what you're going to need to keep going. So is it a goal or is it a future confidence boost? Either way, make sure you write them down. What I wish I had done when I started is take the first, say, 14 days and really create a plan. Now, I know what you're thinking. 14 days seems like a really long time, but does it? We plan for things like weddings and vacations and graduations, and we take a really long time to plan those things. A wedding can be 1 to 2 years. So why wouldn't we take the same amount of detail and attention when we are creating a business that's going to provide us with a lifestyle? I'm sure now that I've put it that way to you, 14 days doesn't seem like very long, probably not long enough. The takeaway here is to sit down and plan and write that plan down and revisit it every quarter to make sure you're staying on track. I have 3 plans in place at all times. I have a vision board, I have a dry erase calendar, and I have an SEO strategy that I'm very consistent with. Now, this second one was really hard for me, and I still find it challenging sometimes. And it really is sit down and create some boundaries for yourself. In the beginning, I felt like I had to be everything for everybody, literally, and that is no way to run a business. I set 0 boundaries around peers and clients and friends and family and colleagues. It was a bloody sprint. And trust me, business is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you keep up that sprint pace in your business with no boundaries, you are going to burn out. My advice is pretty simple. Just set some boundaries. One of the ways I started to set boundaries is with a scheduling app. Now, I use Calendly, and I've linked it in the show notes below as well. This way, I get to control my calendar and when I'm available for appointments. Not controlling your calendar can be really stressful in business, so relieve some of that stress and control your calendar. Now, my third thing is you might be in business alone, but you don't have to do it alone. This one usually has to bite you in the butt a few times before you really get it. This is still something I struggle with day to day, so I had to make sure to put something in place to help me through it. And what I do is a simple one-pager called Project Members. It really helps me start to think and develop ideas of who I can get to help me as my business grows. And for me, even the thought of someone helping relieve some of this pressure is enough to keep me going. So basically, my 3 ride or dies when it comes to business are: number 1, take some time to plan. Write those goals down and revisit them every quarter. Number 2, boundaries. Make them. You won't regret it. And the third is a reminder to not do this alone. If you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, you're going to need others. Now remember, there's additional information about all 3 in the show notes below. So now you know, business can actually be really hard, and it's not for the faint of heart. So my advice would be to stick with it as long as you can. You get to create a lifestyle that is like no other. Now, I think I could add a 4th ride or die to this, and it would be to never lose that fight that got you this business in the first place and that you know can take you so far. Do you want to get that business online? You knew this shameless plug was coming. I have an online SEO training course starting up August 5th, live training. I've put the information in the show notes below. If you liked my video, give me a thumbs up. Better yet, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to be notified each time I post a new video about the business of SEO. Adios, everyone.